Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ultimate Develop series. So today we will see how firmware engineers are synchronized with hardware designs and can use the pin mapping for firmware updates. So basically, firmware engineers view schematics and pin mapping, and they can see the schematics and read the nets and header pin numbers without needing to run Ultimate Designer locally. Plus, they can export and view the pin mapping very easily. So here you will see I am in the Explorer window, and let me open the project. Here you can see I have the project with IR2110. Let me open the TP4055, and here is the schematics view. So just invite the firmware engineer to the project by clicking on the three dots here on the TP4055 and click on share option and just share this project as we discussed in our previous video. So when the firmware engineer is added, then he can see the schematics without needing the PDF files or the pin-to-pin mapping. He can directly add it to the workspace and can see the pin mapping, and here you can see TP4055 IC. The pin numbers are written over here and the pin names are also there: charge, GND, BAT, VCC program pins. So it is not concerned to the firmware engineers. The firmware engineers are concerned with the pin mapping and pin configuration of the microcontroller. As here you can see the ESP32 microcontroller is there, and here you can see the net labels are added over here, like charge 1, IO35, and TX, RX, and other pins. So how can he see? He need the logic for the writing the firmware for it. He will just find use the find option, as I am searching for IO35 on the microcontroller, and when it click on enter, and it will highlight the nets to which it is connected. So IO35 is pulled down with the resistor and the decoupling capacitor, debouncing capacitor. So basically this pin is pulled down. So let me give you this. Yeah. So read switch is connected with this 3.3 volts. So he will directly get to know what the function of this pin. Basically, read switch, when it gets closed, so IU35 will get the 3.3 volts. So the firmware engineers got to know this pin is basically the analog read pin, because analog voltage is read by this pin. So in the similar way, let's take another example. Let me see. Just pick any other pin. Here, enable pin. Enable pin is basically the to enable this chip. So charge one pin, IN1, and let's choose this IO26 pin. And when I click on this, then it highlights the pin connected to the speaker. So it means this pin is connected to the speaker. So some digital signal or analog signal is coming out of it for the buzzer. So, and by default it is connected with the resistor to pull down this, and when the some signal comes out over here, so the speaker will give some sound. So this pin is used for the buzzer LS1. So it will be depending upon other functionality. The functionality will be discussed in the requirements portal option. So in the same way, when you click on the net label, like your global net IO32, you will see it is on the two sheets, battery charger and an MCU sheet. So when we go to the battery charger, and it will highlight the net over there. So basically it is connected to the bat plus and the ground potential divider. So basically it is monitoring the battery voltages. And as I don't know how this pin works, but when I see, so I got to know that this pin is basically monitoring the voltage. So it's also again the analog input pin, so it is reading the value of the battery voltages. uh, but for the clear understanding and the deep knowledge of the firmware logic, the designer or the someone who is designing this circuit will add the requirements portal and add the requirements which includes the logic for this whole circuit. As in this U5, it is not, it is also connected to this MCU. So RX pin and TX pin for flashing the MCU. And you can see below there are transistors, so we don't need to know the capacitors or other stuff because these are not concerned with the microcontroller or firmware. These are on the hardware side. So we the firmware engineer is only concerned with the uh, firmware side. So only the pins which is connected to the MCU. So for the deep knowledge of the firmware logic, the user will add the link requirement option over here. Use the link requirement option to add the requirements for the design logic. And right now there is no logic, no requirements over here. But whenever someone wants the designer, the firmware engineer, to write the logic, they will add the requirements over there. So another method is if the engineer, the firmware designer, wants to use the PDF, then he can use the PDF as well. Just go to the release and look for the schematics print PDF, and when it is downloaded, he can use the control F for searching the nets where the pins are connected. Like as I am using the D1 is the D1 diode, TVS diode over here. And you can see it's not the net, so you don't need to know where it is connected. You just need to know where the MCU pins are connected. So as I am searching this like this, you can write 5v underscore 1 to search where these nets are connected. Just search using this search engine. So that's all for today's video, and we have learned how firmware engineer can see the schematics, read the net names and header pin numbers without needing to run the Altium designer locally. If you want to learn more about Altium Develop, then follow us for the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.